And the last game on our list of this episode is Jetpack Joyride.
Designed by Michał Gołębiowski. Artist is Mateusz Komada. I should have looked at these before. I wasn't expecting this stuff. And Katarzyna Kosobucka. Sorry. And
it's published by Lucky Dog.
Lucky Dog, yeah, okay. They had a couple publishers on here, but yeah, Lucky Dog or Lucky Duck.
Lucky Duck, that's what it was.
Lucky Duck Games.
This game was on Kickstarter a while back, and one of our George received it in the mail. We played it, and it is a board game version of the iOS/Android app of the same name, where in that you have a chain gun strapped to your back, and it's one of those endless side-scrolling runners where your guy just keeps running, and when you hold down the screen, his jetpack fires out a bunch of minigun shots below him, which propels him into the air.
Yeah.
And then when you let go, he stops firing, so you fall, back down. You're trying to collect different coins. You're trying to collect upgrades, do vehicles and stuff as you go. Silly game. And when I heard that they were making a board game, I was like, and then I read about how it was played. I was like, yeah. So Jetpack Joyride, the board game, works like this. Each player gets a scene. They get 4 scene cards, which you put in a side, like from left to right, number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's going to create your scene that you're going to go through in real time. Because just like Galaxy Trucker games like that, there's a massive pile of plastic tokens. They look like Blocus tokens, like plastic Tetris pieces and stuff.
Semi-see-through.
Yeah, semi-transparent and stuff. And on your different cards of your scene, there's traps that you can't go over, which are like the laser beams from the game. There's the little scientist nerds at the bottom of each scene, and they're there for a specific reason. But basically, you're going to say, go, grab these tiles, and put them on your board. You can only use one arm, and you can only place one at a time. And if you can't use it, you have to put it kind of back out in the middle, or closer probably to you than everybody else at that point.
Right.
And you're going to make this contiguous line from left to right, from your first scene all the way to your 4th scene, and go off of the page. And when you do that, you can say stop, and everybody has to stop. So it's a game of speed, but at the same time, there's coins all over your board that you want to cover up. So you're not trying to just get to the end. You're trying to cover up these coins. And also these achievements come out at the beginning of each round. Everybody's playing with these achievements. They're kind of just off to the side, but it might say every time you go from the top of a scene to the bottom of the scene, you get points. Every time you high five one of the scientists, you get points. And high fiving just means you go adjacent to one of them. There's other ones too. It's all kinds of stuff. If you entered the scene and left the scene on the same line, you get points, stuff like that. So you're trying to abide by those because they would give you the most stars, but you're also trying to collect coins because coins matter for some of the gear cards. The game's played, I think, is it 3 rounds? I think it's 3. It's 3 or 4.
3 or 4. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you play, but basically you'll say go, you'll do all this stuff, and then you'll score. And then you'll have a phase in between the phases where you'll put out these gear cards, and whoever has the lowest victory points gets to pick first, etc. And the gear cards are basically other jetpacks, which will give you either special abilities or maybe more opportunities to score. And then you'll play another round. But on your next round, you take your 4 scene cards and pass them to the player to your left. So you'll receive the ones from the player to your right. You can flip them over or do whatever. And then you play again, and you do that 3 or 4 times. I don't remember now. And then at the end, whoever has the most points is the winner. Last thing I will mention, because we will bring it up, are the vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And the vehicles are the only thing. The gear cards happen between rounds, and you use them for future rounds. The gear cards, there's actually some of them in the middle of the table. And there are special shapes of Tetris pieces that don't show up in the actual normal pile.
Mm-hmm.
If you put one of your tokens, or not tokens, but Tetris pieces over top one of these upgrades, you will get to pick one of those in real time off the middle of the table. And when you use those, basically they, I believe they allow you to go over top of hazards.
Right.
And they also collect any coins that are adjacent to it, not just when you cover them up.
Right.
So it's an easy way to collect coins without having to go on top of them.
I always forget to use them.
That is true. So did you, either of you all play the actual app game?
No, I didn't.
Or have you played it since you played the board game?
That is what I was going to say. I meant to, carve out some time to actually download the app, try it out. I know it doesn't take very long to do so, but no, this week was pretty busy. Never got the chance to try it out, but I would imagine it implemented it, everything pretty well to the game.
Yes, it was very well. I mean, wow. Like, the fact that it's real time is also really cool. There's not a whole lot of games that do that, grab everything from the same pile in real time, and I really like that. And the fact that you're actually drawing a path that you take, because you might get to a point where like, man, I really want to go this route, but I can't find any pieces that'll work. So now you have to go down below and stuff, and everybody's doing it faster than you, and then you realize they complete it, and you're halfway through your thing, but they didn't collect any coins.
You realize you suck at real time. Yeah.
No, but I like the vehicles. The vehicles were pretty cool, but you're right. It's really hard to remember to use those things.
It was.
What'd you think of the gear cards? There's a lot of humor in this game, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I like the gear cards a lot. Like I said, in the past game here, it gave you a chance to kind of differentiate to what you're doing versus other people. You might have a gear card that says every time you hop off the ground, you get 2 points. So here you are trying to hop off the ground. and with that, you are also trying to complete the goals of this round, and you're trying to pick up the coins, and you're trying to get to the end before everybody else does. Not that there's you don't get any real benefit for getting to the end. It just stops other people from continue on. They're going more slow and precise. You're trying to, as precise as you can, but as fast as you can get to the end.
I'm not sure the people who finished first actually did the best.
No, not typically, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
For us slow people.
I don't know. It was really good. There's not a whole lot to this game, but implementing it from the app was amazing. Everything is kind of there. Even some of the humor. There's like the nerd repellent, which a lot of people, it was a kind of a thing about the actual Jetpack Joyride app, the nerd repellent, and then they added that card in the game, which was pretty hilarious. Cool. Just all the different vehicles and stuff. It was cool to see them in card form and actually be a pretty fun game. I think we played the deluxe Kickstarter version.
They we can play with 5 or 6 people. Maybe the base game was only 4.
Correct.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. The deluxe version has 5 and 6 players. It has a lot more gear cards. It has more vehicles, and it has a lot more scene cards. Because I think if you play 4 players in the base game, you almost use all the components.
Okay.
So this has a little bit more replayability.
Sure.
In the deluxe, which I'm very sad about because the base game's like $20.
Oh, really? Wow.
Very inexpensive for what you get. I mean, that's crazy good. Maybe it's like 25, but it's super low.
That's not bad.
But the deluxe Kickstarter thing going for 80 and 90.
Oh, wow.
I'm very sad by this, man.
I don't see that the different vehicles made a big matter. Really having the other cards, since you're passing them around all the time.
Really, it's the 5 and 6 player expansion, which I'm gonna be sad about.
Right. That's probably the biggest selling point, because it doesn't add really any time.
Exactly.
To add a 5th or 6th player, because you're doing it all at the same time.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could just add this, play the same amount of time for 6 people, and have an easier time to get it to the table. I really hope they add. I don't know if they have any plans to have all that and add it to an add-on that you can buy, but if it's all Kickstarter exclusive. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I'll pick it up. Maybe. I probably will, actually. Maybe I'll try to find the deluxe version a couple years from now when people are trying to sell it for a lot less.
Right.
Or it'll be a lot more. It'll go one way or the other.
Exactly. I would have liked to see a couple more pieces. I'm not sure on how.
Like shapes?
The shapes, yeah.
That's the vehicles, Eric.
Is it? No, the vehicles had their own shapes, but the shapes that were out in the middle, I think there was maybe 4 or 5 different kinds.
Well, they're all 5. They're all 5 tiles. They're all 5 squares, so you can't really have that many different shapes.
I get it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind, some 3 squares or some 4 squares in there. Like, it gives you a little bit more variety to. I mean, you're kind of more searching instead of where's that piece that's 4 straight and 1 up or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the difference or the benefit of having a lot of the same pieces, but people grabbing all the good. We say good ones, but it depends on what's happening. But yeah, you're right. Like certain shapes you're really looking for. You're like, where are they all at? And everybody's grabbed them all.
Right.
I don't know. I kind of like it how it is. I do like the vehicles being different shapes though. That was pretty cool.
Mhm.
Like some of them were squares, some of them
Yeah.
were just straights. Because there are no straights in the game.
Right.
It's always like an S shape kind of deal.
Well, maybe not S, but yeah.
Well, like, you know, it goes
Some-
up 1, goes over 3, and then up 1.
or something.
Or like up 1 and over 4.
Mhm.
Like there's none that are perfectly
right.
straight.
Right.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Not much else to talk about the game, but Matt,
No.
does it sound cool?
It sounds all right.
Yeah.
No,
Sounds
it was
chaotic.
good.
It's
It
kind
is
of chaotic. It's super fun.
Yeah. For a real time game, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Well, cool. That's Jetpack Joyride.